Hello and welcome back to Water Matters. I'm your host Jake for this episode, and today I'm joined with Dan. Dan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for coming.
Amazing. And today we are outside of Nothing But Footprints, which is a refill store, and we're going to be looking at what a refill store is and all of the amazing details that go with it. Dan, what is a refill shop and what is Nothing But Footprints?
So basically, in its purest form, it's a supermarket that provides everything that a supermarket does, except that we do it with as little or no packaging as possible. So we buy everything in bulk, so things like cereals we'll buy in 20, 25 kilo sacks, and then we sell them loose to customers who will bring their own containers and refill them. So the whole idea is to reduce packaging waste. We generate around 420 kilos per person in the UK. So it's all about trying to reduce that, basically.
Amazing. And how did this whole thing get started with you and the shop specifically?
So I went away traveling for a few years, and as part of that I was in Southeast Asia and I was doing a bit of diving, which was amazing. It was an incredible experience, but I just remember being one moment in particular standing out to me where we were out in a marine park. We were 50 kilometers away at sea. It's a protected area, and we saw what we thought was a boat going above us. When we came to the surface a little while later, it was actually a mattress. And we realised there was rubbish everywhere underwater, even in this area. And it just made me realise the scope and how widespread the plastic issue is in our oceans. So we kind of decided to do something about it. When we came home, on a personal level, we were trying to shop with less packaging, particularly plastic, but all packaging really. It's all got a footprint of some kind. So that's kind of where this was born. We realised there weren't many places to do it locally. In fact, the nearest place at the time was Bristol, and obviously it's not particularly environmentally friendly to be driving to Bristol to save a few plastic bottles. So we decided if no one else was going to do it, we'd do it ourselves. And thankfully, since then, loads of others have popped up. So there's refill shops all over the country now. So it's becoming more and more accessible. But that was the reason behind it.
Nice. Well, that being said, should we go in?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Dan, what do refill stores consist of? I can see a lot of products back here, all sorts of different things. What do you have that maybe is a bit different as well?
So every refill shop will be different. They're mostly independently owned and locally run. What they'll all tend to have will be a range of cleaning stuff. That tends to be in most refill shops. Some of your ambient foods, so things like cereals, pasta, rice, nuts, seeds. And then most refill shops will probably also do some body care, soaps, that kind of stuff. We're fortunate we've got quite a bit of space here, so we're able to kind of go a bit broader. So we've got a few more of the foods that perhaps not all shops will stock, but we've also got lots of gifts and homewares. So we've got everything from refillable candles to plastic-free gift cards to books that are anything from environmental, climate to fiction that kind of fits in with that theme as well, or nature or walking, anything that gets people thinking in the right way, I guess. We've also got lots of cleaning accessories, so UK made compostable sponges and scouring pads, and anything that you've got in your home that's made of plastic, we try to have an alternative that's not, and that's pretty much the brief. So if you can buy it in Tesco's and it's not fresh or frozen, we've probably got an alternative to it here.
Amazing. And say I'm a new customer coming in and I've got no experience before with refilling, what would the process look like there in terms of, getting product, getting things to refill in, that kind of stuff?
So ideally, you'd bring containers in with you, and then we will help you to then choose the product that you want. So, for example, if you were buying washing up liquid, you'd bring your bottle in from home, we would wash it out, we'd then bring it over and we'd just refill it. We charge you by weight, so it's all that our till works out exactly how much it is all going to be. You're not overcharged for your container, etc. If you don't have a bottle or you forget one, we sell bottles to replace them, and we also have a little library of donated containers that people have brought in. So we have some freebies as well. And for the food, similarly, you can bring your own containers, but if you don't have them, we've got paper bags or we've got other donated containers that people can use.
we're here by some of the products now, and my question would be, what is the product that I guess flies off the shelves, if you will? What's the thing that people always come flocking for in the shop?
So probably the first thing people change when they start looking to shop this way is usually cleaning stuff. Certainly when I started doing refills at home, I attacked it by looking in my bin at what was taking up volume, and it was mostly plastic bottles that were filling up the most space. So they were the things I targeted first. So a great place to start is just to commit to, I'm never going to buy a washing up liquid bottle ever again, and just keep refilling that one thing. And it's all about making small incremental changes, really, rather than trying to just get rid of all the plastic in your house overnight, because it just doesn't work. So that's probably our best selling product, I should think, washing up liquid. We sell loads of it. It's a great product. You can put it in the watercourses, so it's great for people who live on boats. It's natural, there's no nasties in it, and it's cheaper than buying bottles of fairy liquid from supermarkets as well. So it's a bit of a no-brainer, really, as to why not. One of the products I've been most proud of that we've recently added, we've just started doing these, which probably the smallest product in the shop, I should think. These are a car screen wash replacement. It's a little concentrated tablet. One of those is equivalent to one of those. So 5 litres in one little tablet. The tablet's £4.50. So screen wash, I haven't bought a screen wash like this for a while, but I seem to remember it was more than £4.50. So it's cheaper, it's way smaller. The equivalent of a pallet of one of these is 3 articulated trucks full of these. So the saving in terms of transport costs, in terms of energy use, in terms of packaging is phenomenal. And obviously these bottles rarely get reused. They're most often chucked in your recycling, and it's a huge amount of volume going to something really small. So that's something that is a relatively new product to us, but I just think it's a brilliant thing. So.
A lot easier storage wise as well, I imagine. You can just keep that in the car if you really needed to.
Exactly that. I mean, what's that? There you go. That's 20 litres of screen wash there. That'll last you years. And it's not going to deteriorate. It's brilliant stuff. I used it all winter. It didn't freeze either. So the key is to find products that they have to be obviously better for the environment. They have to be, for us, packaging is a massive thing, but they've also got to work. They've got to do the job. And if they're cheaper than the alternative, then even better. The idea is to make all of this accessible to people. And you're not going to do that by pricing people out or making inferior products that people just put up with. You want products that people love. So that's what it's about. That
was my next question as well, is in terms of accessibility and expense, obviously that is the first thing that comes to everyone's minds with any product, especially this kind of stuff. And I imagine it is quite cheap compared to, the normal stuff. That's just like you've said, that is obviously a lot cheaper and a lot easier to use. What's the accessibility and expense? What does it look like across the store?
So I guess the biggest challenge for a customer coming into this is it's a change of habit. It's totally different to going into Tesco's or any other supermarket and just mindlessly chucking stuff into a trolley and going home. You have to think about what you're getting. It's a way more considered kind of purchase. You've got to prepare for it. Getting your containers ready, making your shopping list, etc. So to combat that, we have to make sure that we can never be as convenient as the supermarkets, because it is harder work. You're having to pump all your liquids out, etc. But we can be cheaper. We can be more affordable in the way that people are only having to buy what they need rather than having to buy whatever volume it is that they're sold in. We can make them more economically sound in terms of environmentally sound. So making sure those things are all better make us more accessible, I think.
So we're now at the back of the store, and as you can see behind me and to the sides of me, we actually have quite a lot of food products here and spices, of which I didn't realise could also be refilled. And I guess what is the big popular products back here compared to the liquids we've got?
So it depends what people are looking for, but most people tend to start with herbs and spices. A couple of reasons for that. One, every time you buy a herb and spice pot, you're wasting a glass jar, so there's a lot of waste involved. Those glass jars are quite expensive as well, so actually refilling is way cheaper. It's also fresher, and in most cases we've got organic oregano, 35p for 10 grams, so it would be about 50p to fill a pot up that you probably would have paid £152 for in a supermarket. So it's literally a quarter of the price. So some of these are just a bit of a no-brainer. They're really great products. Beyond that, snacks, everyone goes mad for pick and mix because Woolworths doesn't exist anymore, but we do. So why not? We sell a lot of pick and mix, and we do a good range of vegan, and we do raw chocolates and truffles. So we've got, whether you just want gummy sweets or you want some nice treats to take with you, then buying them loose is just much cheaper and just a nice way of doing it. Yeah.
Cool. And then I'm also noticing some pasta up there. I imagine that's probably quite popular as well.
We get through loads of pasta. We've just started doing a spelt and pea pasta, which is
currently empty as well.
Yeah, it's been really popular. It's brand new, so it's an organic UK-made pasta, and they only use UK-grown wheat and pea in this case to make it, but it's so good.
I'm also seeing some really interesting contraptions here with peanut butter and Nutella. Could you just explain a bit more with that?
So we've managed to get ourselves some nut grinders so we can make our own fresh peanut butter in store, and Nutella, which is just made, as you can see, purely from roasted hazelnuts and some chocolate chips. So there's no nasties in it, there's no extra sugar or palm oil or any of that stuff. And the peanuts, as you can see, there's no salt, there's no sugar, there's no oil, there's nothing. So it's just pure peanut butter, safe for dogs, safe for everyone, and it tastes amazing. So nice little toy to have.
And easy, I imagine, to just get through. How do you actually use the contraption?
So we train our customers to use this one. To be honest, it's really easy. There's just an on-off button, and you can choose smooth, medium, or crunchy, and out it comes. Stick your jar underneath first, obviously. And that's it. Easy as that. It's amazing stuff, though. We get through so much of it. So
very cool. And I'm also seeing some olive oil and other types of oil here. Now, obviously, when people think expensive, they think olive oil. That is so expensive. You have to always get it in a really big tub as well. Are you seeing a lot of use out of this? I imagine that's probably, again, quite a popular thing people are here for.
Yeah, so our olive oil prices did go crazy for the last couple of years. There were 2 years of failed crops across quite a few growing regions for olives. However, our olive oil actually works out pretty competitive. It's not much more than a known branded olive oil in a supermarket, but Honest Toil, who you may have seen in other supermarkets previously, they're a little cooperative based in Greece. They use an olive that I can never remember the name of, but it has the highest polyphenol content of any olive, and they press it on their village press by hand the day that it's picked. So it's a really high polyphenol oil, which for anyone who's been listening to podcasts talking about olive oil and why it's so good for you, that's the stuff you want to be having. So we try and find producers that will supply to us in 20 litre bottles that we then return to them. They wash them, refill them, and they come back, and it's a completely circular system. Same with Cotswold Gold, who provide a local cold pressed rapeseed oil to us. And then we have an Italian sunflower oil that's also provided on a refill basis. So products that you might not expect to be able to get in every refill shop, but really, really popular, and completely zero packaging for us, which is the aim of the game.
Since this place has opened and you've managed to develop the store, have you been seeing a lot of noticeable change in how customers behave, how they shop? Have you seen a lot of regulars? How's that sort of been?
We've been really lucky to have a really loyal following since we've started. So we've got customers who came in on our very early days, sort of 7 years ago, brought in their washing up liquid bottle, and they're still using that same washing up liquid bottle now. So that's amazing to see. But we're also finding that people, as we've grown, so is their kind of shopping basket, if you like. So they're starting to get almost everything here. We've got a number of customers that literally come to us for everything, and they'll just go to the market to get their fresh stuff, or they'll go to a supermarket to get fresh if need be and frozen. It's quite nice to see that, because it shows that people are starting to move away from traditional shopping habits of supermarkets, and support independent businesses, which is great. But also they're slowly moving into getting more and more stuff from us, which is just amazing.
And in the same sort of way you've managed to obviously expand in different stores that you have, how has that been for you? The experience of expanding and also being able to tap into different customers in different areas?
Yep, so we opened in Bicester, I think 3 years ago now, and it's a much smaller space. We're kind of sharing a space with another business, but that's been great. It's given us access to another town. It's given the people of Bicester an opportunity to do some of the same shopping, and we do click and collect over to there as well. So if they can't get what they want in that shop, they can order it from here and we'll bring it over. So yeah, it's great to be able to offer more accessibility to more people. It's obviously not everyone's got one in their town, so the more of us there are, the better. We've also got a little outpost in Evenley, a little coffee shop where we have a little concession, and again we do click and collect for there, but they have some of the kind of basic stuff, so some washing up liquid, some of the food, some soaps. So again, it just means that the people in the village there have got somewhere to go to pick up some of it, and I think it exposes more people to the idea of doing this, and that's kind of important as well, because I think a lot of people don't think about it. They just go to the supermarket because they don't think of another option. So having some options there just really helps people, I think.
Amazing. And in, I guess, the current landscape we're in, with everything getting more expensive, somewhat less sustainable as well in some places, how important would you say refill stores, how important are they at the moment in terms of that entire climate that we're in?
I think they're massively important. I think the reason that I think we've grown as a business and got more and more support over the years, I mean, we're 7 years in and we've grown every single year that we've traded, which is amazing considering how turbulent that 7 years has been. So we don't take that for granted, for one. But I do think that people are changing their habits, and I think customers are realising that the problems we're facing in terms of the climate crisis, in terms of plastic pollution, they're not going to go away, and they're making committed changes that they're keeping to for a long term. That's important because it's driving change in the wider industry, so it's making supermarkets and other brands start take note, and you're starting to see some of the big brands make changes to their own products to make them more ethical, sustainable, get rid of nasty products within their product, etc. So it has a knock-on effect that's much wider than just what we do in here.
I'm quite familiar with the deodorant and the sort of soap side of things with sustainability, but I didn't realise how much you had here with toothpaste, with mouthwash. Just want to go into a bit of that, sort of what kind of products do you have and how is it helpful?
Yeah, so we've got quite a big range now, actually. When we first started, there was only a limited number of companies that we could deal with, and one of the things that's been really nice about how this whole market has grown is that now there are loads of companies doing loads of different products, so it gives us a choice. So we've got everything from kids' toothpastes that are in aluminium tubes. We've got fluoride-free or fluoride versions of normal mint toothpaste for adults. We've got activated charcoal. We've got toothpaste tablets, which these are great if you're going away on holiday for a weekend and you just need something that, if you don't want to put it into your carry-on and it's not liquid, obviously. So they're really good. And again, they're all, perfectly safe for the environment, perfectly safe to put in your teeth. They don't have any fillers, they don't have any weird chemicals to make them bubble up or do anything daft. They just have the stuff that your teeth need, which you kind of wish all the toothpaste did, but there you go. So we've also got mouthwash tablets. So these, you just dissolve them into a little shot glass, start doing your teeth. By the time you finish doing your teeth, they've dissolved, and then you've got your mouthwash. So they take up no space, they're really light. You can take them on a carry-on if you're going on holiday with them. But things like that I just think are great products because they just make so much sense.
So obviously we are the Water Matters podcast, and so we're very big on water sustainability, managing water scarcity, everything related with water and keeping the water on our planet safe and drinkable. So in terms of a store like this, what kind of things sort of help with that topic?
So it's one of a few things that this can help with environmentally. So in terms of some of our cleaning products are concentrated. So the reason that helps, obviously it doesn't help at the end of use, you're still adding water to them to use them, but you're not transporting water around. Something I find strange is that we transport water in so many different products around the country, and yet we all have taps. So it seems like a bit of a wasteful thing. So it's not directly saving water, but it is saving us transporting water, which unnecessarily. There's also microplastics, which I think it's long been known now that that's a massive problem. We're finding it literally in newborn babies now, so it's terrifying, to be honest. And I think one of the stats I was told when I first started looking into all this is that every piece of plastic you've ever owned still exists somewhere in some form, and very little of it really gets recycled and turned into something else. So once you kind of know that, and you think about all the toothbrushes you've had and all of those, the bristles that have been flaking off and the clothes you've had that have leached into the water, that's making our drinking water unsafe. It's making us unhealthier, and we don't really know the long-term impacts yet. So I guess we'll find out when we have 3 legs and 4 heads or whatever.
I guess the mattress is also a really big example of that, right? A big example actually in size, but also, there's a lot there in that ocean as well as the mattress I can imagine that you saw.
Yeah, it's frightening, and it's everywhere. I mean, as I said before, we were 50 kilometres out at sea. We should not have been seeing mattresses and parts of boats and fishing nets and things like that all attached to reef. It's terrifying, really, and it just makes you think, if it's that bad there, then how bad is it, in places that we've not been yet, and what are we doing to ecosystems that we don't understand yet? Another great product actually that's got an impact on water is our almonds. We've recently changed these to Spanish almonds, and the reason we've done that is that Californian almonds use a huge amount of water to grow them. They still use a lot of water to grow them in Spain, but nowhere near the volume that's used in America. Plus, it's obviously nearer, and these ones are actually organic as well. So that's a great way of saving water within the way that we grow food. So there's lots of different ways that water can be impacted by just being a little bit more mindful about how you shop.
So just reflecting on the store in general and your journey with Refill Stores, what are you most proud of with the store and with what you do?
Definitely customer service is the thing I'm most passionate about in terms of running a shop, but it's also the thing that I'm most proud of in terms of the day-to-day of what we do. I think most of our customers would probably share the same feedback, which is that the customer service in here is always really, really good. Every single member of our team is just brilliant with people, whether it be they've got good knowledge of the products, they're passionate about it, but they're all just people, and that's kind of, it's so important if you're working in retail. And I'm sure I could name loads of retailers that don't have people famously in their shops, but for me it's the most important thing. And it's certainly something when the dark days of COVID hit, we really sort of learned very quickly how much appreciation people had for being able to come in and converse with someone and just having that social connection. And it's not to be underestimated in a world where supermarkets seem to be moving further and further into an automated non-human kind of interaction. We're going the complete opposite way and saying, no, actually we want social connection, we want people buy from people, we want people to be able to come in, ask questions. We know that this can look daunting to some customers, especially when you first start. So being able to come in and find someone approachable who can help you through it and guide you through it is so important.
Amazing. And I guess your ideal next steps with Refill Stores in general, with sustainability in the world, what would that look like for you?
So personally, we just want to keep going as we are and maybe expand the range a little bit more. And as more and more things become available, we'd like to find more solutions to plastic problems. On a wider scale, I would love to see refill shops everywhere. I'd love to see supermarkets go full 180 degrees and start turning towards doing all of this, because the more it's available for people, the better. And if the reason that I have to close this shop up is because all the other supermarkets are doing it, then that's brilliant. It would be the best reason to end it. So yeah, it just needs to be available to everyone. So the quicker that happens, the better.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. And before we go, is there anywhere you want people to go, anywhere that people can find you, or any resources that they might find helpful to do with refill stores in general?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook and Instagram under Refill Not Landfill. We've got a website, refillnotlandfill.co.uk or nothingbutfootprints.co.uk. They both come to the same place. You can also, if you don't have us near you, then you can look on refill.org.uk, and that's a national website that shows everything from refill shops to water top-up stations all over the country, so you can find the nearest one to you. And if there's nothing near you, then by all means we can send stuff out national delivery. So
Well, thank you so much, Dan. It's been a pleasure.
thank you very much. It's great.
And subscribe for more Water Matters here.